Hey there. Well, it's that time of year whenever all of the zucchini starts really coming in. So today I just wanted to show you one of my favorite things to do with zucchini. Now I don't usually like for it to get any bigger than this, and this is actually pushing it just a little bit. But since I'm going to be spiralizing it, it's going to be okay. But if I am stir frying it or something like that, I really like for it to be just a little bit smaller than this. But anyway, I am going to spiralize this zucchini and make spaghetti with it. That's my favorite thing to do with zucchini. And last year I bought this Briefton's 5-blade spiralizer. And it is awesome. I used it just a time or two toward the end of last year, but I do love it. So if I have forgotten how to use it just a little bit, just bear with me. It has 5 blades with it. So, like I said, I just used it a time or two last year, and then I put it back in the box. But I will put a link down in the description below so that if you would like to get one, you can. They're really awesome. I love mine. So, one of my favorite things about this spiralizer is that it has a suction cup on the bottom. And that way, while you're trying to turn the crank to use the spiralizer portion, it's not jumping all over the place, and that really helps. So let me see if I can adjust this camera just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. So I guess I'll sit down so you can actually see me too. So this thing comes with 5 blades. So the last time, if I remember correctly, I used one of the smaller blades, but I do like my zucchini noodles to be just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use, let's do the 5. I've got a 2, a 3, a 5, and a 5.5. And then the one that came in it is a slicer. If I'm not mistaken, I used this to chop up a head of cabbage. And I tell you what, it chopped that cabbage up just like that. It's awesome. So I'm going to use the 5. And we'll see how that does with the size of noodles that I like. So really all you do to use this suction cup, it's got a little lever here. So you just put it on the table and flip the lever over, and it causes the suction cup to catch on whatever you put it on. So hopefully it will suction okay to this table. We'll see. Oh yes, that's good and sturdy. So I'm just going to put a little bit of aluminum foil here to catch everything. And I've already sliced one end off. Slice this other end off. Let me wash this one more time. So this just slides back and forth really easy. The butt end of your vegetable, whatever you're putting on here, and it doesn't really matter. The YouTube video that I watched, Lord, that lady spiralized everything. She spiralized apples. She spiralized sweet potatoes, and I did actually do a sweet potato last year. So you put the butt end of it against these little teeth here, and then there's a little protruding circle here that you do right there. There's a handle to hold on to over here that you use to push, and then you just start spinning and it will start to spiralize. I may need to move the camera so you can see this a little bit better. It's really pretty cool. Isn't that cool? And that's about the perfect size noodles for me. And you can take some scissors and cut this as you go. That way your noodles are not so long. But I usually just wait until I get to the end, and then I just cut them. I love doing this. I think it's so cool to just watch this zucchini turn into a bunch of noodles. And that's it. That's a whole zucchini spiralized in no time flat. Look at that. That is awesome. So I'll just pop this loose where the suction cup is at. Move that out of the way. Back this up just a little bit, and the end piece will pop right off. And you can eat that just like that if you want. You can cut it up and include it in whatever you want. But I think the end piece is great for fresh eating. That's what I like to do with it. And I like to use the little middle piece that comes through for fresh eating. I just pop that in my mouth and eat it. But I really like just raw squash too, or zucchini. A lot of people don't like it like that, but I do like it. So now I'm going to show you what I do with these. So now I'm just going to hold this up, and I'm just going to cut the length of some of these noodles, and I'm going to make them a lot shorter. It just makes it a lot easier to eat. Here's the little pieces that I said that I like to eat. This is the very middle of the zucchini. I really like it. Sometimes there may be a seed or two in there, but that doesn't matter. They're very easily chewed, so it's delicious, y'all. So I just go through here and find some that are really long and cut them shorter. It just makes it easier to eat when you do that. There's a couple different ways you can cook these. Whenever I use these for spaghetti, as spaghetti noodles, I usually just put it in the dish that I'm going to take for lunch the next day and pop it into the microwave for about 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. It depends on how many you have. And if you want to store these for a few days, you can just pop these in the refrigerator, put them in a container with some paper towels folded up in the bottom to help absorb the moisture. Because if you like squash, if you've eaten squash for any length of time, you know that it is very watery. It has a lot of water content in it. So I'll show you the zucchini that I put in the fridge 3 days ago. And I did eat some today for lunch, and it was still delicious. It was still fresh. In the microwave, you will cook it for about 2 minutes, maybe 3 if you like it extra done, but you just have to remember that zucchini will get super soft and turn into mush if you overcook it. The texture is not going to be the same as pasta noodles. This is a vegetable. It is not a pasta that is made through a lot of processing like pasta is. This is all natural, and it is delicious, but the texture is different when you eat it like spaghetti. But the mild flavor allows the flavor of the pasta sauce that you use and whatever meat you use. Some people use chicken, some people use ground beef. I like to use a low-fat ground beef in mine, and I think the flavor is so similar to the spaghetti that I make that if it was not for the texture, you just simply would not be able to tell the difference. So anyway, let me show you what I already had in the fridge. So this is the one that I already had in the refrigerator. And you can see that it's somewhat dried out, but it is still very usable because the noodles themselves retain so much water. See that? And I just have a piece of paper towel folded up down on the bottom of it. So what I will do is I will take these out, put a fresh paper towel in here. You can also saute these. Don't think that just because you have spiralized it that you have to use it for spaghetti noodles, because you don't. You can stir fry these like this, just like you would if you had sliced them into medallions. So I'm just going to put another paper towel down on the bottom. to help absorb moisture. And then I'm going to add these fresh noodles. And I will probably use some in a stir fry tomorrow, but I will include the way that I make spaghetti with it in this video. I cheat a little bit. I use commercial sauce if I do not have homemade. I hope to have homemade very soon though, because I've got all kinds of tomatoes. So hopefully I'll have some homemade pretty soon. And now I'm just going to add another layer of paper towels to kind of separate the older ones from the new ones. That way I can use the older ones first. And they recommend that you eat these within 3 days, but I have kept mine up to 5 days, and they still done just fine. They still tasted good. They were a little drier than they would be had I eat them a day or two sooner. But other than that, I could not tell any difference at all. So anyway, I will show you all how to make spaghetti with these. If you already have a favorite spaghetti recipe, you don't have to make it the way that I make it. Make it the way that you've made it for years, and just replace your pasta noodles with zucchini noodles. They are awesome. They are delicious. They are healthy. They don't have the carbs like pasta does. It does not have all of the processing like pasta does. So just give it a try. I think you'll really like it. And one last thing, it is super easy cleanup with this thing. This slides right out. I take it over to the sink. I rinse it out. I don't even think I used soap and water on it the last time. I literally just rinsed it off while it was still moist. This pops right out, and I rinsed it off. Then I took a wet rag and I wiped the rest of it off, and that's it. I mean, it's a very easy cleanup job. So I'm just packing my lunch for tomorrow. I'm going to have spaghetti with zucchini noodles. Pack them down in there tight, because whenever you cook them, they shrink down a little bit. And you'll just use the protein of your choice. I'm going to use ground chuck, but you can use ground chicken, ground turkey, anything you want really. And the sauce of your choice. Ragu, tomato, garlic, and onion is my favorite pre-made sauce. The only thing that I like getting better than this is if I make my own. And that's it. So I hope you all have enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy all the content that I put on. If you do, please like and subscribe. It helps to support my channel. You can even share a video if you see one that you like particularly. And that helps to support. All of those things help to support my channel. So I have a lot of fun doing this. It does take up quite a bit of time, but that's okay because I enjoy doing it. So I hope you all have a great night. God bless you.